Welcome, it's Miss Kate, back for another day of Art Date with Miss Kate. I am so glad you're here. If you're new, welcome, come join the fun. This week is Space Week. Yesterday, we talked about astronauts. Today, we're gonna be talking about rocket ships and spacecraft. Always look below. There's tons of information in there, especially with a Google document with some fun links. So y'all saw yesterday how much I love space. I am over the moon excited for this week. Your artwork was amazing. Those spacesuits that you designed, oh my gosh. If we could have designed spacesuits out in space, I'd say you guys would be the designers, definitely. But now we gotta get out there. How do we do that? What does it take? I'm gonna tell you. This isn't gonna be super detailed. It's kind of just some basic information, but that way you can go and find out more on your own or possibly be an astronaut one day. And then you can come tell Miss Kate. So we gotta use a spaceship or a rocket ship. But what's the difference? Because to me, they sound kind of similar. Well, a spaceship, which looks like this, can be reused. It can fly out into space and then it can fly right back. However, it can't do it alone. It needs a rocket ship essentially to get it into space. So if you look at this, here's a spaceship. It's attached to a fuel tank, that big thing in the middle. Can you see that? And then on each side of it, it has rocket boosters. The two rocket boosters and the fuel tank are what push it up into outer space, and it goes pretty fast. Before we get to that though, a rocket ship, which is on this side, has everything put together. It doesn't have a separate spaceship. The spaceship part, where the astronauts would be, is kind of up towards the top. Below there is rocket fuel. Below there are the rocket boosters. It's all contained in one thing. That works kind of like a firework. It bursts up into the air and parts of it kind of explode off, except the little part where the astronauts are. That's what goes into outer space. So you can get out there in two ways. Either of those work. But how long does it take to get out there? Because man, it takes quite a while for me to drive from my house to my parents' house. I can't imagine how long it would take to get out of the universe, out of our atmosphere. 8 minutes. Do you realize how fast that is? The space shuttle or the rocket, after it leaves our atmosphere, it is going 17,000 miles per hour. If it was here on Earth, it would only take me about 2 minutes to go from the United States to Europe. 2 minutes. It takes 90 minutes. That's an hour and a half. That's about the length of a Disney movie or maybe 3 short TV shows. It takes 90 minutes to go around the Earth. So this rocket or spaceship is traveling at very, very, very high speeds. Now, that's all great. How do we get back? I mean, I'm really excited to get out there, but do we? We do. So you can come back in 2 ways. If you fly up in the rocket, you'll have to come back in a capsule. You'll end up going to the space station, and when it's time to come home, you get into a little, kind of like a bucket with a lid, but it's protected. It has all these special cells and materials on the outside, so when you come back into the atmosphere, you don't get all burned up because of the friction. With that, it's attached to a parachute. So here's a picture. This is the Soyuz capsule. When it comes home, the parachute opens and it slows down. So that way it doesn't crash into the Earth. The other way to get home is if you had taken the space shuttle. That is the reusable piece of air flight that we have. If you come back in that, it acts as a glider. A glider is like a plane without an engine. It slows down by having a parachute detached from it as well. It's pretty cool. Now, how does all this work, Miss Kate? Like, That's great. It goes up there, it goes really fast. But how? Well, we have to turn to physics. So I will tell you, I was not a fan of physics when I was younger. Now that I know what it can do, I love this subject. So physics is how things kind of move and how things work and how they operate. There's one law in physics, Newton's law of motion, the third one. It says that for any action we take, there's an equal and opposite reaction. Whoa, please break that apart. So here's a good example. If you swim and you put your hands forward and you pull the water back, you push forward. So the water goes back, but you push forward. That's how rocket ships get up into space. The thrust or the heat and the exhaust that comes out of the engine pushes down and the rocket goes up. So it's the third law of motion that makes it possible for us to leave planet Earth. Okay, are you all ready? I think I've just about left all my brain juices onto the table here. We got to get making some art. So I want you to go ahead and gather your supplies. You'll need some black paper, a white piece of copy paper, pencil, black marker, crayons or markers, whichever you like to color with. Color pencils work too. And if you have tissue paper, colors that are red, yellow, or orange, grab those. I'm going to set up my table and I will see you over there in 2 snaps of a finger click. All right, artists, here we go. I've got my stuff set up here. Here is our project. So we're going to be designing a spaceship. We'll have our spaceship in the front, our rocket fuel tank here, and our 2 rocket boosters on each side. We're gonna then take some tissue paper if you have it. If not, I'll show you what to do. And we're gonna kind of put it at the back to make it look like it's blasting off into space and designing the background. So first thing, you're going to need your white paper. And we don't need to use all of it. We're actually only going to use about half. So go ahead and take it and have it going the landscape direction. Remember, this is portrait up and down. When we have it this way, it is landscape. Fold it in half and crease it. After you've done that, super simple, we're gonna take a pair of scissors and just cut down the middle and put the 1/2 to the side. Save it for later or for a whole nother project. Or maybe you wanna make a second spacecraft, that would work too. I'm gonna put mine here and then go ahead and get your pencil. I'm gonna draw with a marker so you can see it. And we're gonna, again, draw our spaceship together. So we're going to start in the middle of the paper and we're going to draw a rectangle. Now a rectangle is long, short, long, short. It has 4 sides. It's like a square that's been stretched apart. So we'll do a rectangle now. On top of the rectangle, we're going to add a triangle. A triangle is 3 sides. Diagonal, diagonal, straight. But I don't have to draw that straight line because it's part of the top of the rectangle. After you have your triangle on, we're going to put 2 triangles on each side. It's going to be diagonal, diagonal, straight. Again, 1 line is hooked to the rocket already. How you doing so far? Good? Awesome. Remember, at any point in the video, you can always push pause and come right back and join us. We'll be happily waiting for you guys. We're gonna add on a little thing to the bottom that looks like a rocket booster opening. So it's a diagonal line. It's like a straight line, but it looks like it's about to fall over. And we're gonna do another diagonal line. That one looks like it's falling over too. And we're gonna just connect them with a straight line across. That would be a horizontal line. So we've got our ship part. This is where the astronauts would be. That would be us. Now we're gonna add in our fuel tank. So behind the rocket, we're gonna go a little bit above it. We're gonna draw like a curved out line that is kind of like a C, but it's like stretched really long. It's not quite diagonal, it's kind of fallen over, but it's a little bit got a curve to it. We'll do that on the other side too. Last thing we're gonna add to our cute rocket ship we've got going are the fuel tanks. Oh, excuse me, not the fuel tanks, the rocket boosters. So they're gonna be very similar in shape to the fuel tank. We're gonna draw a small curved-ish line coming off. And then we're gonna follow sort of this line we have here, just a little further out. Did you get that? Good. If you need to erase, go right ahead. Remember, pause the video. If yours looks a little crooked or it's a little bit flipped this way or you don't really like your line, it's okay. Or it's not meant to be perfect. It is perfect just in the fact that you're creating. That's what we're meant to do. So I noticed, oh gosh, my line's a little funny there, but it's okay. I am just enjoying the process. Now I need another rocket booster on this side. So I'm gonna do that little curved-ish line out. And I'm gonna follow that long edge of the rocket right there, but a little bit further out. Did you get that? Good. So let's put in a few little designs. I'm gonna add a stripe here, just so it's a little bit more exciting. And I'll put a stripe on my fuel tank as well. So each rocket booster has a stripe, and the fuel tank in the middle. I'm gonna put a matching one on the space capsule. If you want, you could put an opening so that way the astronauts, us, can see out of it. I'm gonna color mine in black. And any other little designs that you wanna add. After this, you get to color any color you want. You are in the spaceship. This is your spaceship. You're the artist. It could be realistic looking. It can be imaginary. It could be a spaceship that's got polka dots and stripes. It could be a spaceship with some new floral pattern design. Whatever you feel like doing. I'm gonna go ahead and put the pause screen up so you can take some time to color and outline in the black marker. And you'll have 2 examples of mine to give you some ideas. All right, so mine is colored here. I'm going to now, and you can grab yours as well. We're gonna cut out the rocket ship that we drew, okay? Very carefully, I've talked about this in a couple of videos. I am big on scissor safety. When you are cutting, don't look at the video, look at your paper. If you wanna pause so that way you can cut it out, go right ahead. I would much rather you have all your fingers intact for tomorrow than have to go get a Band-Aid. So, very carefully cut out your rocket as one big piece. You don't want to cut out each little thing separately. We're going to keep it all attached and very carefully go along the lines that you drew. When you're done, you're going to put your scissors down, make sure they're closed, scissors safety. You're gonna go ahead and move your white paper to the side because we might be able to reuse that. And grab your black paper. You got it? All right. So very simply, on the back of your rocket ship, we're gonna put a little glue. I'm gonna make it where mine looks like it's coming off the page a little bit. You can keep yours smack in the middle of the page. You can keep it all on the page. You can have yours going down. You can have yours on this corner. You can have yours down here like it just took off. Wherever you feel like putting it, it's fine by me. I'm gonna use my glue stick so that way it will dry a little faster and not be so wet. And I'm gonna put a little bit on the back of my rocket ship. And since I'm gonna let mine go off the paper, I'm not gonna put it up there, the glue, because it'll get all over my table. Okay. Got it? Good. So now that we're glued down, we've got a couple things left to work on. We gotta get that rocket fuel effect, make it look like it's flying out of the back of the rocket ship, just like this. So you have two options. If you happen to have tissue paper, you can use that. I have a whole mess of this stuff because I save everything. And I am just gonna tear, not use scissors, because that looks too perfect. I'm just gonna tear some pieces off in different sizes, different shapes. And then very, very simply, with some wet glue, and if you've seen me glue, you'll know that I always put the glue down first to keep my fingers from getting too much glue on them. If they do, you know you can easily wash them off. I just don't like to have to touch everything and get glue everywhere. And then you're just gonna go ahead and lay your tissue paper right on it. Now, someone might be saying, but Miss Kate, I don't have any tissue paper. What do I do? Well, you have two options. You can take some scrap construction paper, if you've got some laying around of these colors, and you can go ahead and use that. I don't know if I have any up here. Or you can take that scrap paper, take a crayon that would be red, yellow, or orange, color some areas in really fast, and then with your scissors, you can cut out some strips. I'm gonna make the edges a little curvy so it doesn't look too much like I just cut it with scissors. And you can glue some of these down as well. So go ahead now and figure out what you're gonna be using for your fuel coming out of the back of the rocket ship. And you can start designing that. One last thing you're gonna add is the background. Something going on in space. Now, it's very hard to get colors on this black paper. The lighter colors show up really well, white especially. So I can go in and put some little star spots. I might want to put a planet or two, so I'm going to find some light colors. That one didn't come out very good. Let's see what else I got. Maybe this will do better. You might have to kind of experiment with colors to see which one looks the best. If by chance you have oil pastels. Oil pastels work really well. Their color is a bit brighter and the pigment pops off the paper. So you can always grab those and use those, see how much brighter it is, to add into it. You could also, lots of options today, draw stuff on your white paper and cut it out. Maybe I'm going to do some kind of weird greenish yellow planet that has like orange dots in it. Again, I can easily, scissors safety please, cut it out. And with just a little teeny dab of glue, I can glue those onto the background. So you've got a lot of options, a lot of work to do. I'm going to pause, make it so the pause screen is up. You can see my examples, and I'm going to flip this around so I can give you a friendly goodbye. All right. As usual, you all did amazing. I had a blast. This has been such a fun art day, especially because it's one of my favorite topics outside of art, which is science. Enjoy the rest of the day. Take whatever time it takes for you to finish up your rocket ship artwork. If you get a chance, take a picture of it and send it to me. There's email, there's direct message, there's Facebook, there's Instagram, there's Twitter. You can find me almost anywhere. All the information is down below. I love seeing your artwork, especially when you have a little smiley face coming with it. Enjoy. And tomorrow, we might be happening to see some aliens.
Hey, Mom.
What, Spencer?
I think I need to be the first Spencer castronaut in space.
Maybe Spencer could be a catstronaut one day. I'm not sure. But we're going to go and we're going to get ready for tomorrow. I want you to have a fantastic rest of today. If you get a chance, get outside, get some fresh air, be kind, and I will catch you on the flip side. Bye, guys.